Sonic Frontiers has been out for a few weeks now. Enough time has passed, and I cannot stop thinking about the character arcs, moments, and crazy lore we discover in this game. Let's talk about all of it. Full spoilers ahead, you have been warned. Beginning with Sonic, this is my favorite characterization for him as a character in any media. I've always enjoyed the way Ian Flynn writes him, and to see his writing for Sonic and Frontiers always made me smile. His determination to free his friends, his refusal to give up, and a mature tone that shows our blue boy is growing up right before our eyes. I love how Sonic was always the catalyst to his friends being able to evolve. Sonic's empathy is something that has been missing in the games for a while now, and Ian Flynn and Sonic Team brought back that energy we know and love better than ever before. I've never been more excited for future stories knowing we are getting this version of Sonic going forward. And not just him, all of these characters. Amy Rose is no longer the star-crossed stalker, man crazy about some Sonic. In the side dialogue bits, you get to see how caring and kind she is. She becomes inspired by the love of the Ancients and Cocos, and becomes determined to share that love with the world, even if Sonic won't be there. And he comforts her when she says this, saying, "You'll do great, and I'll be here when you get back." It's incredibly sincere and sweet and just everything I have always wanted out of the dynamic between these two. And with Amy mentioning in the mid-credits about wanting to travel with Styx and Cream, that is a Team Rose that I am 1000% on board to see, and hopefully we get to play that in the future. Ian Flynn has gone on record saying that Knuckles is his favorite character, and you definitely feel that in this game. The animated prequel short was just absolutely perfect, and Knuckles' moments in the game don't skip a beat either. My man is in between realities and still catching laser blasts going not in my house. Like, I love Knux so much in this game. Gone is the ignorance, naivety, and stupidity that has plagued and flanderized this character. We're back to the stoic badass, as well as seeing the rivalry between him and Sonic feel more like a brotherhood than it ever has before. But also getting new unforeseen depth with him. Hearing him open up and be honest about how even though he is dedicated to his honor-bound duty protecting the Master Emerald, that life is incredibly lonely. Sonic gives Knuckles the push to go live life beyond Angel Island, and I can't wait to see where he wants to go. Tails, wow, Tails in this game. The master gadgeteer and genius we've come to expect, with one of the best arcs in the whole game. Ian Flynn taking the infamous character bastardization from Lost World and Forces and turning that into part of Tails' evolution is some of my favorite course correcting I have ever seen. Tails has been a kid for so long, and he gets the grow up moment I've always wanted to see them do with him. Him telling Sonic that he wants to go adventure on his own and see what life has in store. And even though Sonic is caught off guard by it, he's proud of his little bro. And then Sage's reaction to their friendship got me misty. I'm seeing the characters I thought would never grow up finally get to, and it was beautiful. Sage surprised me in all the best ways. I think her being a creation of Eggman was theorized by most people, but the reveal that their relationship goes to the point that she views him as a father and her as a daughter caught me completely off guard. I did not think that would ever be a dynamic they would go with. On top of the great arc of seeing her slowly analyze and understand Sonic to the point of convincing her dad to join forces with him to save the day. It was charming. She's an adorable little character, and I'm glad she lives in the end. I have no idea where they will go next with her, but I eagerly await when and what they do. And then we have the Doc, who, in my humble opinion, gets the best character arc of anyone in this game. And it's just so unexpected. Like, when was the last time Dr. Ivo Eggman Robotnik got character development at all in these games? Sonic Adventure 2? It's been a long time. But I loved everything they did with him in this game. Listening to all of the egg memos and getting a deep dive into who the Doc is more than ever before. Seeing his intellect as he dissects his situation in cyberspace and analyzes everything. Him discovering that the Ancients' decline and degradation after interacting with the Master Emerald resulted in the Chao, making them the ancestors of Chaos, which is the #1 question I've always had about Sonic lore. Why did a Chao's mutation turn into this liquid form that we see with Chaos? Well, the Chaos Emerald's creators were a liquid people, and in a way that mutation was things coming full circle. I love it. It's so much cooler than any theory I could have thought of. And then you keep going and hear him mention the Black Arms and the Babylonians, calling back to things that have never been acknowledged. Him talking about Maria and asking if she was anything like Sage, seeing him slowly falling in love with his creation to the point of viewing her as family. It was so shocking and heartwarming. Even though the Doc has always been a human character, he's never had humanity like this before. This game gives him a depth he has never had. It makes the ending hit so much harder when she sacrifices herself. Him seeing the stars fall and the brutal realization that his little girl isn't coming back. But then the resolve to make sure she does. It brought me to tears. I wasn't ready for this moment. I wasn't ready for it to tug at my heartstrings in a way that no Sonic game has ever done. But he, and we the audience, get a happy ending. He reboots and brings her back, and I love the pride you hear in his voice when he does. But Eggman is now a very different character. How does Sage enhance or alter his goals and ambitions? How do his plans for world domination change? How does he now as a father and human being change? I can't wait to see where they explore this new lease on life for the Doc. Ian Flynn said in multiple interviews before the game came out he loved what he got to do with Eggman in this game, and now I understand, because I loved it too. After decades of speculation, we finally got to meet the creators and stewards of the Chaos Emeralds. The Ancients, liquid alien beings that lived on the other side of the universe. Their homeworld was annihilated by a cosmic planet-sized monster called the End, so they fled to Earth summoned by the Master Emerald. Why was the Master Emerald on Earth? Did it originate here? Did someone bring it here? And if so, who did? I like that they answer a ton of big questions, but also leave new ones. The Ancients settled on the Starfall Islands, creating their technological magnum opus cyberspace. The End comes to Earth. The Ancients created the Titans to defend themselves, and the Titan fighters sacrificed their lives to seal the End within cyberspace. The rest of the ancient race dies shortly after, with their dreams living on within their good luck charms, the Coco. Sonic and friends do their part along their journey to help the Coco fulfill the last dreams of their creators and find peace. Which I really dug because Sonic's drive wasn't just about saving his friends by the end of the game, it also was to avenge the Ancients that never got the chance to live and prosper. And talking about the End specifically, I love that we are back to Sonic beating the brakes off of eldritch cosmic monsters. I've always liked bosses like Perfect Chaos, Final Hazard, and Dark Gaia. The End has some cold-blooded lines in its final monologue. What can one mote of golden light illuminate within the abyss? You have fought machines and gods. My captors bent time and space, built a whole reality to contain me, and burned their souls away to fuel their engines. The End reminded me of Null from the Venom and Spider-Man comics. Null was the god of the symbiotes, dedicated to not just extinguishing all life, but all light from the universe. I love insanely over-the-top monsters like this, and the End reminded me of my favorite bosses throughout Sonic history. And now, what does the story and where it goes mean for the future? Well, firstly, I've never been more excited for it. Hearing Katie, the Sonic social media lead, talk about them hiring for an assistant lore master, as well as revealing that Ian Flynn, Evan Stanley, and Tyson Hess are part of the new writing creative team for Sonic is the best news I have heard in years. All of these people have a phenomenal track record, and after making videos about these people just a few weeks ago, it makes me so happy that Sega is finally recognizing their talents and giving them positions they deserve. And as for the characters, I want to see them blossom, continue to progress, and see what the next era of Sonic storytelling will be. I intend on making a more substantial video on what I would love to see in a Frontier sequel, but in terms of a story I want to see, my number one request is that the structure of Frontiers, of Sonic helping his friends move forward in life, needs to be done for Shadow the Hedgehog. After a decade plus of ludicrous mandates that have reduced Shadow to being a shell of what he used to be, and especially with Sonic Movie 3 going to adapt Shadow's story from Sonic Adventure 2, this is the perfect time to bring back the Shadow the Hedgehog fans love. My dream sequel to Frontiers is a narrative that takes Sonic and Shadow on an adventure together. Sonic helping Shadow and maybe even other characters continue to be better. But what would you like to see in the future? Let me know down below. I know for many, even some Sonic fans, people will not understand or remotely like anything that happens in this story. But I appreciate that the story in Frontiers was made for die-hard fans first and foremost. This is a game that is unashamed of its wonderful foster cluck history and shows it off at every opportunity. And if you have been with the franchise for as long as I have, it was cathartic and validating to see so many moments from stories we love not just acknowledged, but celebrated. Seeing almost every Sonic game connected now creates a path for the future many have dreamed of. Everything you love is canon now. Whenever we get to see Sonic's next adventure, I'll be there, and I'll be ready.